Have you ever stopped to think about what's really happening right under your feet? I mean, really think about it. Because it's not just dirt. No, it's this hidden world, absolutely teeming with life. A story of creation that spans thousands, even millions of years. So let's dig in and uncover the secret life of soil. So, when you look down at the ground, what do you see? Is it just dirt? You know, that simple, kind of boring stuff we walk on, build on, maybe get on our shoes? Well, I'm here to tell you the reality is infinitely more complex and, honestly, way more fascinating than that.
There's actually a scientific name for this whole incredible process. It's called pedogenesis, and it's basically the story of how soil is born. It's a story shaped by everything: the exact place it's in, the environment around it, and the deep, deep history of our planet.
You see, every single soil has an origin story, a kind of biography. And that story, believe it or not, always begins with rock. It all starts with what we call its parent material.
So before soil can really come alive, its mineral foundation has to be created. And this happens through a process called weathering. It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like, the relentless, powerful breakdown of solid rock into smaller and smaller pieces. So how do you tenderize a solid rock into the beginnings of soil? Well, it happens in two main ways. First, there's physical disintegration. This is just brute force, right? Like water getting into a crack, freezing, expanding, and just shattering the rock from the inside out. Then there's chemical decomposition, which is a bit more subtle. This is where things like acid rain slowly dissolve minerals, changing the rock's very chemistry.
But here's the thing. Mineral dust, that broken down rock, that alone does not make a living soil. For that to happen, you need a secret ingredient. A truly magical substance that transforms that inert dust into a thriving, bustling ecosystem. And that ingredient is called humus.
So what in the world is humus? Okay, basically it's this dark, rich, complex organic stuff. It's formed from the breakdown of things like fallen leaves and dead organisms. But, and this is the really cool part, it's not just decay. It's actively created or synthesized by microbes. Humus is, without a doubt, the living heart of the soil. You can think of this process as nature's ultimate recycling program. It's amazing. First, in step one, microbes just decompose all that organic waste into simple little building blocks. Then, and this is the magic part, they use those blocks to build something new. They synthesize these incredibly complex, stable, and beneficial humus molecules. It's literally turning trash into treasure. And just look at this composition. It is so key. The vast majority of all the organic matter in soil, somewhere between 60 and 80%, is this super stable, long-lasting humic matter. This isn't just some fleeting substance. It is the resilient, powerful backbone of any healthy soil. And here's the crucial difference. You've got the non-humic stuff, which is basically fast food for microbes. Simple, easily consumed, and gone pretty quickly. But then you have the humic substances. These are complex, tough, and super resistant to being broken down. They are the stable foundation that gives soil its structure, its water-holding capacity, and its long-term health. Okay, so as soil gets older, over hundreds or even thousands of years, it starts to develop these distinct layers. We call them horizons. And you can really think of a soil profile as its biography, with each layer telling a different chapter of that soil's incredible life story. The story begins right at the very top, in what's called the O horizon. The O is for organic. This is all the fresh stuff, decomposing leaves, twigs, all the organic material that has just recently been added to the system. Now, just below that, we get to the A horizon, or what you probably know as topsoil. This is the vibrant, living heart of the soil. It's this rich, beautiful mix of those weathered minerals and that all-important, well-decomposed humus. This is where the party is at. It is just teeming with roots, insects, fungi, and microbes.
As water trickles down from the topsoil, it carries tiny little particles with it on the journey. And this material, all these fine clays and minerals, it builds up in the next layer down, the B horizon, or subsoil. It's an accumulation zone, and it's often way denser and a totally different color than the topsoil.
And now we're getting back to our origins. The C horizon is the parent material. It's that tenderized rock we were talking about at the very beginning. These are the raw ingredients that formed all those amazing layers of life sitting on top of it. And finally, at the very bottom, we hit bedrock, the R horizon. This is the solid, unweathered rock that lies beneath everything else, the ultimate foundation upon which this entire, complex, living system is built. So we've seen what soil is made of, layer by layer, but why are soils so incredibly different all over the world? Why is the soil in a rainforest completely different from the soil in a desert? Well, the answer lies in a kind of master recipe with 5 key ingredients.
And the secret to remembering this recipe is a really simple acronym, CLORPT. Seriously, this one word is the key that unlocks the amazing diversity of soils you see all across the globe.
Let's break it down really quick. CL is for climate, which controls the speed of everything. O is for organisms. They're the little mixers and enrichers. R is for relief, or the shape of the land, which controls water. P is for parent material, the starting ingredients. And T is for time, because it takes a very, very long time to cook up a good soil. The amazing thing is, if you just change one of these factors, you get a completely different kind of soil.
Okay, so we've nerded out on the science. But why does any of this actually matter in the real world? Why should we care so much about healthy soil? Well, because it is so much more than just the foundation for our feet.
Remember our hero, humus? Its real power lies in what this quote is getting at. See, humus is like the glue that binds tiny soil particles together into these little clumps called aggregates, and that structure is what helps soil resist erosion and creates all these vital little spaces for air and water.
And get this, humus has a superpower. It acts like a giant sponge. It can hold 4 to 5 times more water than even super-absorbent clay can. That's incredible. It means soil that's rich in humus helps plants survive droughts, it reduces flooding, and it even helps keep our water sources cleaner.
So the big takeaway here is that soil isn't just a thing, it's a living, dynamic system, and it needs to be cared for. We can maintain that crucial humus by doing things like adding organic matter, using smart crop rotations, and reducing how much we till the land. The bottom line is, we have to be active stewards of this precious resource. So I'm going to leave you with this one final thought. We've just seen how nature spends literally millennia creating just a few inches of healthy topsoil. So the question for all of us is this: what actions must we take today to protect this incredible living resource for all of our tomorrows?